Alrighty, everyone. It is time for the finale of DSP versus the Internet, episode 29 for September 3rd, 2023. The live audience, you guys have been great. Thanks for chilling with me today. I also obviously want to give a special shout out thanks to all the members who supported this channel this week and nominated all these videos. Now, next week, quick reminder, please, no videos flagged for kids, no videos flagged adults only, and no videos that are taken straight from like a television show or broadcast network. Those are going to be problems. But outside of that, I really enjoyed the variety, and let's continue and see what's in the final video. Here we go.
I don't want to step on the scale at the doctor's. I say, oh, I don't want to be weighed today.
What you need to understand is that weight is a vital sign. We need it. It is so important. You can't even understand how important knowing your weight can be to a very serious medical condition. I can't tell you how many times a month I go into the chart, specifically look for a change in weight, and get frustrated that it's not there. Either the patient refused, or more likely my nurse got busy. I am sorry that you don't feel good about yourself, that you're self-conscious about your weight. I understand that society puts so much importance on looks and things like that. But when you're at the doctor's office, you don't care. That's not why you're there. We're there to help you with your health.
That's right.
And your vital signs, blood pressure, heart rate, and changes in weight over time, long-term, short-term. These are things that are vital in importance. I respect patients. I understand that not every patient has the same beliefs and core values. I also respect that not every problem a patient has, they want to have fixed. For instance, I talk about smoking, but I don't push the issue. If a patient's not ready, I don't harp on them. I know they drink too much, they know I know it, and I talk to them a little bit, but again, I don't browbeat them, because that closes communication. I understand when patients struggle with weight, and if they don't want to address it, that's fine. But when they say, I don't really want to be weighed today, I say, well, that's okay. I'll come back when you do.
This restaurant is suing a customer for tipping $3,000.
All right, hold on. So my comment on that, I'm sorry, I completely agree with the doctor. The doctor's job is to diagnose you if you have something wrong or to give you an update on your health. All right? If you go to the doctor and there's something wrong with you and you won't let them weigh you, then you might as well not go to the doctor. Because it could definitely be related. There's so many diseases related to weight. So many. And if you won't let them weigh you, then why did you go? Just stay home and hope for the best. If you don't want a professional to tell you what could possibly be causing the problems you're having, then don't go to the doctor. Let the doctor be open for people who are open to actual medical advice. If you don't want medical advice, why are you wasting everyone's time, right? Sorry, I agree with the doctor there 1,000,000%. I think that he's dead on correct in that it's the doctor's job to tell you what's going on with your health. And if you're going to ignore facts, then why are you there? Self-diagnose yourself at home and leave us all alone, and that way you don't waste everyone's time. All right.
Then asking for his money back. So a man went inside this restaurant to eat and ordered food. His bill came out to $13.
Okay.
But when the waitress came to give him the receipt so he could pay, he deceived the waitress by leaving a $3,000 tip. The restaurant and his waiter even took pictures of the receipt where he wrote $3,000 as a tip. He also wrote tips for Jesus, which apparently is some trend of people giving back in forms of tips.
Ran his card, everything went through properly, and they took his ID and took pictures of everything. So they waited a little bit to make sure that it was
So what happened?
went through, and then ended up being real.
But after getting the waiter excited and making her day, not even hours after the man left, he called his bank and did a chargeback on his card for the tip he left. He even sent the restaurant a letter in the mail telling them he's disputing the charge and he wants his money back. And to make matters worse, the restaurant had paid the waiter the tip the man left. Because of this, the restaurant is suing the man, saying we've already paid the waiter and it's unfair for her. He should have not left a tip if he couldn't afford to pay it.
Would you rather have $500,000?
So, I mean, that's fucked up. I mean, that guy had an agenda, correct? I mean, literally, that's an agenda. He's going there to cause problems. He wanted to get immediate pleasure out of making people happy and did not give two shits about taking that away later. That guy is a scumbag. So, I mean, yeah, it sucks because I guess my question is, why on earth would the credit card company have entertained that? That's my real question. Because, again, I've told you guys the story that years ago, I had an issue with a purchase I made on a credit card. I disputed it. They launched an investigation. And after the investigation, ended, they essentially said, well, we can't side with you because there's no evidence of what you're saying. If you remember, so I bought a bunch of furniture when I first moved here. I still have the receipts downstairs. I had them. I found them, and I had all evidence of this. So I was quoted a certain number of, a bill that I was going to have to pay. This is what it's going to be for everything. So that was for my love seat for this office, for my dining set downstairs, and for my couch. So all that, here's your entire price of what you're going to have to be paid. They charged it to my credit card. Then a month and a half later, I got an additional like $700, $800 charge to my credit card. And I said, what the hell is this? Oh, now we're charging you for the love seat because now it's in stock. Wait a minute. No, no, no. You quoted me a price. I agreed to it, and you charged me for it on the day I was there at the store. There was no agreement you were going to charge me a month and a half later for this piece of furniture. So what on earth do you think you're doing? I filed a dispute with the credit card company, and they looked into it and essentially said, well, technically, there's no contract you signed that said that was the final purchase price. What you did is you signed a credit card receipt for the charge, but there's nothing to prove that they said that this was going to be like a package price. So you kind of got screwed there. And they didn't grant it. They declined my dispute charge, and I had to pay it. Okay? So this guy, this is what gets me. He goes there. There's actual evidence that he was at the restaurant. There's photos that he was there. He paid. He signed the $3,000 tip. He autographed the fucking credit card receipt. How can he charge that back? The credit card company should say, well, we have to investigate, and they should look into it, and they should see there's a physical receipt. There's pictures, there's evidence he did all of this, and it should be stopped. Why did they give it back? That makes no sense to me whatsoever. That's a piece of shit credit card company. That anyone could just lie and get their money back? I didn't get that. So why did they get that, right? That's pretty ridiculous. I don't know, man. That's messed up to me. I don't think that should have happened. I don't see how it happened legally. Oh, God. If this is a fucking Jay-Z thing, we're skipping it.
Today or...
Oh, fuck you.
If your cats are not vegan, you're paying for animal abuse. And that's wrong. The fish on this package had a right to live.
Well, guys, it's a brand new day, and...
I'm not even going to watch this clip. No. Thank you for the submission. I'm not wasting my time on that idiot. I can't.
Hey, that's
I have way more important things to do in my life than watch that clip of that fucking moron. Let's continue.
YouTube. Does it feel like there are bullets going through your brain? Do you want to take your head off and cradle it until the pain goes away? If you are suffering from tension headaches, you are not the only one. Our friend, the Sunshine, has asked for a natural method for this.
See, I don't know the difference between kinds of headaches. I don't. You know, usually when I get a headache, and it's usually in the same spot. It's usually like right here above my eye, and it feels like it's right here, and there's always like a pressure buildup in my head. It feels like brain swelling, and it hurts bad, and usually if I hydrate, and if I take something like Advil or Tylenol or something, it'll go away. But that's usually the headache I get. I've had other headaches in my life, but that's typically where I would get a headache. So I don't know the difference between like a standard headache, a tension headache, a migraine headache. I never really got that.
Imagine how relaxed you will feel without the pain. Let's get started. Massage both hands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Massage the side of your head. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Front of your head. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2,
No.
3, 4,
Okay.
5. Back of your head. 1,
Okay.
2, 3, 4.
This is getting pretty
Massage
intense.
strong enough so that you feel the friction. 3, 4, 5. Both hands tap onto your head. 1, 2, 3.
I think I'm getting a headache doing this,
4.
actually. I was
You
fine
will
before,
feel
but now my head
tension
is starting to
as you
hurt.
tap.
Ah!
This is normal. 3,
Ah!
4.
It hurts.
5. Left hand onto the right side of your head and stretch to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right hand.
Does anyone actually think
to
this
the
is
left
working or
side
doing
of your head
anything?
and stretch to
Be
the
honest
right.
here.
1,
All right,
2,
enough of this.
3, 4.
Enough of this
Hold
bullshit.
your hands firmly against your head. 2,
Okay, on to the next video.
So I'm cranking it everywhere now. I'm cranking it in the bedroom. I'm cranking it on the toilet.
Oh no, look who it
I'm even
is. It's our
cranking it in
buddy.
public.
Brutal Moose, the Game Boy with a crank. Oh, I know what this is. There was that thing they sold earlier this year, right? And you had to like pre-order it to get it or whatever, and it sold out. It's like a portable game device, but you can crank it to power it or something like that, right? Yeah, here it is. Look.
So yeah, I'd say that I do like the Playdate and that I'm a huge fan of its unique side crank that allows you to control games by cranking it to and fro. I'm glad you asked, actually. And if you put that stupid phone down for a second, I'll tell you all about it. I'll tell you about the console, about the games, but you gotta put it away. Put it away and listen to me, or I will ruin this date. I swear to God, I will shit my shorts, and everyone's gonna smell it. The Playdate is a gaming console that was first announced back in 2019 and then released in 2022. The console is a little shorter than 3 inches long on each side, and it's 12 Dave & Buster's credit cards
12 Dave & Buster's
give you a
Why does he
better
have
grasp
12 Dave
on
&
just
Buster's
how
credit
small
cards?
this thing is. And now I'll get a grasp of it myself so that you can see how it fits in my nimbly fingered pasty wipes.
Itty-bitty Game Boy.
Some older handheld consoles are too small and unwieldy for my bony sausages to grip comfortably, but the Playdate feels good. The body of the console has these crisp corners on the...
So what does it play? By the way, guys, please stop fucking spamming. All of you. I mean, every single person spamming in the chat, just stop right now. I don't want to see one more message like that. Thank you, Sambuca, for the membership. I appreciate that. Whitewater Wipeout.
Start with 2 games, Whitewater Wipeout and Casual Birder.
Casual Birder?
What? So this game uses the crank almost exclusively.
What the heck?
Kind of
Look
just
at this.
point him where he's supposed to go.
This
We're
is
gonna go down
weird.
the wave, back up the wave, do a little... Oh, there we go.
What the heck kind of game is that?
Oh.
Fudged.
This one kind of reminds me of, what was that paper airplane? No, the helicopter game. Remember the helicopter game?
No, this reminds me of
It's a lot harder than the
California
helicopter game.
games.
Crank that
They had a
thing.
surfing game just like this in California games back in the day in
Crank
the
for
80s.
the fun time. Sleepy and,
salty enough.
I figured this out at some point. I think the secret is just getting the stick. The secret is putting the...
All right, what else do we got? Casual Birder. What the hell? Look at the face. What the hell? This is real, huh? He's singing
this
to
game's
it.
really good. Really love the music in this one. Well, kid, here we are. Your new digs. I already moved your stuff in, so you're all set. You're a pretty kid. Well, I mean, do you even know anything about bird photography? You just point a camera at the bird. It can't be that hard.
What the fuck? Black Body Bobby.
They're not even from Birdtown. To Behuth, they can be a nuisance, but Idika, whoa, you got 'em. Nice work, boy.
You're a pretty kid.
A lot of talking. A lot of...
It's kind of disturbing. Like the game looks like it could be pretty interesting, and at the same time, it looks like it could be incredibly disturbing, right? It's like a weird mix. Okay. All right, let's keep going. What else is on this thing? Pick, pack, pulp? What the fuck?
Here, they turn into a little box, and then once you've got all the matches on screen...
It's a puzzle game.
You ship them away.
It's a puzzle game.
Nice. This one's really fun.
So this thing is completely unique. It doesn't have any games that Nintendo had ever put out before. It's all unique games. Executive Golf. What else? Zipper.
Ooh. This one's easy to learn the rules of, and just really hard to do.
So you zip in a line.
Okay, is
You're
it
trying to slash
conveying
people
to
in
you
a line
guys
or
that the
something?
crank is showing how the turn is going to play out? Maybe the strategy is to take, like, really short steps.
A
so the other guy
samurai
can't
slashing
catch
game.
me?
Oh, it's not by Nintendo? I thought it
Yeah, there we
was.
go.
Oh, this is not? Oh, I totally thought this was a Nintendo product. It's not, I'm being told. Oh, okay. Flipper Lifter. Demon Quest 85? What?
But I don't think I would play it very much alone. I'm not a very good reader. Sleepy, so I kind of need the audience there to remind me what is happening. So far, I think Demon Quest has been the best Season 1 game. At least.
So it's also going to have seasonal content? It's kind of interesting. It's pretty unique, huh? It has all these different kinds of games, and they're all completely unique, original games. Right? A Celeste demake. It actually has Celeste in there. P Racing. Look, that's a racing game. That's fascinating. It was expensive, though, was it not? Wasn't this thing, like, pricey? And that's why I wasn't even considering getting it. I heard it was, like, pretty pricey.
Sorry, wrong person. No way.
All right, why are there so many Tic Tacs? Why are there so many Tic Tacs? Tic Tacs! I call them Tic Tacs. There's so many TikToks, I can't even call them the right thing. I think we've seen too many TikToks. Enough with the TikToks for now. I've had enough. Oh shit, it's Chrono Trigger. Chrono Trigger Boundary Break? Oh, this is fascinating. I love Boundary Break.
Hey, what's going on, you radical dream?
So let's fast forward and see what they can find here off boundaries. Let's see.
And there's no codes to implant characters into the game. But I found a way, and no, none of the other characters have anything to do with the scene if you put them in your party. However, these two characters do show up if you have them there. So now that we have more pieces of the puzzle, it's time to put it together. Ayla shocking the man, Marl laughing, Luca interacting with the new. Now after playing through the game and getting every single ending for this episode, I figured out what this actually belongs to. See, what's actually happening here is that when you step on this tile, it's triggering a specific room to a specific cutscene to a specific ending of the game. This cutscene belongs to the ending, What the Prophet Seeks. And as you can see here in this clip, it's nearly identical. Now why there is an exit tile to trigger this in the first place, I'll never know. The game's actually fairly clean and you can very rarely find other parts of the game that also have random tiles that you can step on and activate things. But at least the theories about what the scene belongs to can finally be put to rest.
So you found a way to trigger one of the optional endings. You saw that? Whoa, what's this?
It's for the outer ring effect when you see the portal. Yeah, that extremely negligible part of the portal is pulled out by an elaborate moving background. So I thought this was kind of neat. The gate key that Luca uses is actually stored in the upper left-hand corner of this screen. Now, before you guys go off on some wild fan theories about why it has to be there, consider this wild fan theory. In a lot of games, whether it's 2D or 3D, and even in Chrono Trigger itself, oftentimes characters are stored off-screen, ready to be queued in for a story scene. And I believe since Luca pulls out the gate key on this...
So that's where it comes from. They have it go from off-screen to her hand. That's interesting. I want to see, none of this looks too fascinating. I'm looking for like stuff I don't recognize or something new.
I did not suspend my disbelief here, and I was wrong to do so. See how this grating looks like it has all sorts of gadgets and gizmos underneath it?
Right.
Well, as it turns out, if you remove the layer on top of it, there really is gadgets and gizmos and pipes underneath this grating. Personally, I would have never guessed. Here at the end of time, you can see good old Gasper sleeping against a light post, and something I found a tad odd is that you can actually remove the light post that Gasper leans against. Or you can remove Gasper himself and find that the end of time actually has an open space for objects to be placed on top of. Now putting Gasper on the sprite layer makes a ton of sense, but honestly caught off guard by the light post. Speaking of little objects and layers, one of the best things about Chrono Trigger is that they dedicate an entire layer for knickknacks. With a push of a button, you can vacate an entire home or building of all of its possessions. And this was done so that the developers could personalize every single building in the game. What objects and how those objects are placed are completely at the discretion of the developers by not having any of these objects automatic.
That's kind of interesting. Sorry guys, it seems like we got trolling at the end. We had like no trolling all day, and now we have morons at the end here. It's so stupid. I don't know where these people came from. It's probably the same person with their 100 stupid sock accounts or whatever, right? What I'm curious about is there anything that we just don't know about the game that was discovered when they were boundary breaking?
Now, normally you cannot touch that red dot in the sky because that red dot is supposed to represent Lavos, not a magic tab or Anything else you'd find that's usually a little glittery sparkle on the ground. But what's funny is if we break the boundaries and walk up to said little lava's glitter spot, you can interact with it in a small way. The game doesn't know what to do once you touch said glitter spot, and so instead, it just turns into a glitchy mess.
Like, oops,
the prehistoric era is a little bit strange compared to the other eras of the game. See, in other eras, removing a certain layer will just take away buildings and other key objects on the map, or just reveal a set piece to be used later in the game. However, the prehistoric era has a massive land in the upper left-hand corner of the map that's never used and never seen. And also, every place that there's supposed to be ocean is replaced with dry land once you remove the layer. Again, this is not something that's typical in any other era of the game. And just so you get a good perspective, I'm going to do a little bit of a zoom out for you.
So that's very weird. The upper left-hand portion of the map, you never... There's an extra area.
Yeah, some of the stuff that's always bugged me about the floating continent Kingdom of Zeal, there's stuff on other floating islands that you're not allowed to get to. Like, for example, this entire building over here, which apparently you can't go into. And of course, the Prism Pyramid that shows up in the later eras of the game, which you also can't visit. But I also just wanted to see what happens to the waterfalls. Like, where does it end? And it just, okay, it ends like right off the screen. Cool. All right, gotcha. But is there anything else to see on the screen? Not really. Although there is one little funny thing, and that's when you reach the bottom of the map, your allies suddenly get confused about what's the closest route to your character. And so instead of following you down off the side of the map, they start traveling up to meet you at the top.
What the heck? Look at that. That's weird.
So with the ability to walk through walls and also remove layers, I found out that there is a doorway here that's never used. In both of the secret rooms in the Kingdom of Zeal, both rooms have a wall texture that laps over what was supposed to be a doorway, and it's further evidenced by the fact that above this blank black space is an overhead. Now, any other texture on this wall, Chrono and his gang would walk over it, but because this is supposed to be an overhang...
And they never did anything with it. What I want to show, they showed the future, like a future area. Is this it? I think this is it. This is the future that never happens because Lavos destroys it. That's what I want to see.
To the scene. And if you slow it down, you can see that it reads Miss 89. Oh, guess where I am? How can I do a Boundary Break episode on Chrono Trigger and not talk about 1999 AD?
Right.
And for some reason, 80s and 90s films really thought that the apocalypse was going to happen a lot sooner than, well, it actually did. Or will. I'm getting grim. Anyways, right now we are walking on the map for 1999 AD, and you can see everything.
So this is only shown in a cutscene of Chrono Trigger. It's when Lavos comes out of the ground and destroys everything in 1999, which then creates the dystopian future of 2300. So it's kind of neat because you can't do anything on it, but he found a way to access it.
What this area had to offer. And now it's not a full map. That's why you're seeing so much green here. You're actually looking at nothingness. That is Chrono Trigger's void.
Yeah.
With that being said, there's still a lot to look at. Now, are there any access points that allow you to actually go inside these buildings? No, absolutely not.
Look how big
It's just been a huge waste of time for the developers. Still, it's incredible that we can be walking in this area right now. To a small extent, it's like fulfilling a childhood dream.
Yeah.
And before we take off of this area, I figured we could do a zoom out to give you guys a much better idea of the entire area of the map.
Oh, that's true. Look at that. That's neat. If only there was actually something you could do in that time
So
period.
I realized that this is Chrono Cross and not Chrono Trigger, but I'm never going to be able to boundary break Chrono Cross. It's just not going to happen. And I figure I have one opportunity to show you guys something Chrono Trigger related that I've always wanted to see, and it means a lot to me, and so I share it with all of you. In Chrono Cross, you do get to meet Chrono, Marl, and Luca, but it's old PlayStation 1 graphics with tons of aliasing and locked cameras, so you can't see anything other than a blotch that resembles Chrono, Luca, and Marl. Well, I'm wicked happy to report that deep within the catacombs of ChronoCompendium.com's forums lies a user named uTunnels, who actually extracted a ton of Chrono Cross models and put them into a model viewer. And so I thought I'd bookend this episode with close-up shots of Chrono, Luca, Marl, and Shala. And hey, thank you so much for watching.
But you know what's funny? Is that maybe now he could do a boundary break on Chrono Cross because they remade it for modern consoles. So maybe he'd find a way to do it now. I wonder. Yeah, maybe I'll play Chrono Cross one day. I might. We'll see. All right, we got time for like one or two more. Let's see what we got.
Scenes today as internet antique Badger 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 celebrates 20 years of being, and a new version is released.
Mushroom, mushroom.
Featuring the original cast of the animation, but motion captured, so we don't have to look at old things.
Mushroom, mushroom. This is funny. So do you guys know that old meme? The badger, mushroom, mushroom. Oh, a snake. Oh, it's a snake. Did you ever see that old meme? It used to be huge on like Newgrounds and other websites that had flash animations in the 2000s. So because they're saying it's 20 years, it's 20 years old now. So that would have been 2003. Wow. 2003, I saw it when it was new. I seriously saw that animation when it was new. So this is supposed to be a celebration of that meme becoming 20 years old.
The original piece, made in Flash, was seen by
There
millions
it is.
across the globe.
There it is.
Eventually becoming a successful horror series on the Time Life channel.
I actually didn't know that. Mushroom, mushroom.
By Mr. Weeble, granddad of the internet.
Alright. Pretty cool. I like the old badger meme. I forgot all about it, but I still reference it every once in a while. That's the badger mushroom snake meme from a million years ago. Alright.
Hey, what's up guys, Perplexify here, and in this video, we'll be counting down 5 times kids got caught stealing. But make sure to watch till the very end, because there's this one kid who steals his parents' credit card to buy V-Bucks, and it just does not go well for him after the dad finds out.
Oh
Like
wow,
and subscribe,
it's
bro.
totally like you spoiled your own video, and you so talk like this in every part. What is he talking like that for? It's obnoxious. 3 million views on this fucking video, by the way. 3 million views. Oh my god, kids steal. Oh, they get caught. Oh my god. Oh. Should I just make videos like that? Would you guys like that if I just had a channel where all I do is make video? Oh, did you know that there's kids that steal and they get caught? Whoa, at the end, the dad finds out. Whoa. Oh my god. It's obnoxious. Let's watch one part of this.
Spider will appear in your bed tonight. Anyways, in our first clip, we have a delivery driver stealing a PS5. Now, you guys already know that PS5s are not only expensive, but they're pretty rare.
Well, this was over 2 years ago. Now you can pretty much get one, but back then you couldn't.
This delivery man took advantage because he goes to the back of the van, scans the package that has the PS5, so that way it says delivered, then keeps it in the van for him to steal. Obviously, stealing is not good, guys, and this guy gets instant karma by getting fired from delivering packages, and I think the guy ended up getting his PS5 in the end, too. But guys, for number 4...
Wow, I mean, what a great video. A tiny piece of surveillance camera footage, just explaining what's going on. He got 3 fucking million views on this. Jesus Christ, YouTube is fucking pathetic at this point. I mean, holy fuck.
If asked for the worst ways to die, burning is probably pretty high on most people's lists. Even if the incident isn't fatal, nobody wants to get burned. Imagine then an invisible fire. You're engulfed in completely transparent flames. Because you can't see it, you don't know how to escape it. And worst of all, nobody will know how to help you, or even realize you're in need of help.
He's on fire? And you can't see it? Oh my god. Seriously?
Methanol is a flammable chemical often used as fuel. Compared to gasoline, which has a carbon content of around 87% by weight, methanol is only about 38% carbon. With much less carbon to burn, methanol fires do not emit as much light as gasoline fires. Methanol burns with a transparent blue light, enough to illuminate the dark, but it's practically invisible in daylight. It also doesn't produce smoke. Methanol also has a lower rate of combustion than gasoline, meaning it burns slower and doesn't get as hot.
Oh my god.
This means a methanol fire is technically easier to contain than a gasoline fire, but if you can't see it, you can't contain it. This is evident in the 1981 Indianapolis 500 pit fire. Rick Mears is pitting on lap 58. While he waits for his crew to service his car, a refueling hose starts spraying fuel before it's connected to the car. This covers Mears, his crew, and the car in methanol, which ignites when it comes into contact with the engine.
No, seriously, like if that happened, that's it. The race is over. There's fuel everywhere. You can't continue to drive that vehicle. What the fuck?
are engulfed in invisible flames. The crew flees. They can feel the fire, but can't see it.
Oh my
Panic
God.
ensues. Rick Mears jumps out of his car. He is on fire, and after inhaling and feeling the heat go down his throat, realizes he must hold his breath. A safety worker tries to remove his helmet, but catches a light and runs away. He jumps the barrier and runs to someone with a fire extinguisher. They try to put Mears out, but catch fire themselves. They drop the extinguisher and run away, leaving Mears to pick it up and try to extinguish himself.
Oh my God.
Mears' fueler, having already been sprayed with extinguishers, has trouble alerting the crew that he is still on fire. He flails around both in reaction to the burning pain and in an attempt to signal he needs help. Rick Mears' father rushes to his son with a fire extinguisher and puts him out, and the safety team manage to extinguish everything else. Rick Mears and 4 of his mechanics were sent to hospital, and Mears had to have plastic surgery on his face, particularly his nose. Thankfully, however, no one was seriously injured. This is not always the case for accidents involving the combustion of methanol.
Shit, dude.
In 2005, at the Butler Motor Speedway in Michigan, USA, 49-year-old Rudy Corsini was working as a fuel man during that day's races. Corsini was in a fuel shed constructed of wood, transferring methanol from one container to another, when suddenly there was a spark, suspected to have come from improper wiring at the pumps. This spark ignited the methanol and caused an explosion. Corsini was engulfed in invisible flame as all around him the fuel shed caught fire, igniting gasoline and propane. Despite this, Corsini somehow managed to escape the burning building.
Did?
A race car driver who was also a firefighter came to his aid, wrapping a shirt around his face to extinguish any burning methanol and protect him from inhalation. This man pulled Corsini away from the scene, and some 1,000 spectators were evacuated as fire departments quickly contained the large fire. Corsini was flown by helicopter to a burns unit at a nearby hospital. He suffered 3-degree burns to 90% of his body.
Oh my God.
Rudy Corsini died of his injuries the following day.
He died. Fuck. Dude, this shit is crazy scary, man. How could you be a driver like that of one of these cars that has this shit that could explode? Like, oh my God, man.
Methanol fuel is still widely used in racing, and one of the reasons is, believe it or not, safety. As previously mentioned, it burns slower and cooler than gasoline. Also, unlike gasoline, it can be put out with plain water. You'd think the fact that it's practically invisible in daylight would make it much more dangerous, but actually, its visibility is considered to largely be a good thing. The lack of flames or smoke means a fire doesn't create a visual obstruction, which could be a huge problem on a racetrack, posing a serious risk to safety workers and other racers.
Oh my God.
Of course, the downside to invisible flames is detecting them, as we've seen with Rick Mears' incident. The level of confusion and panic it inspires is much harder to quantify than its rate of combustion or temperature. Methanol fires may be technically safer, but they're still terrifying. You could be on fire, but when you look down, you don't even know where to start to put it out, and neither will anyone watching you. They might set themselves on fire if they come to your aid without realizing what's happening. You might not know which way to turn to get away from the fire, or avoid more sources of methanol, which is transparent in its liquid form. And all the while, you're breathing in invisible flames and burning your lungs.
Jesus.
That is the horror of methanol fires.
That's terrifying. Wow. Dude, I never want to go to a racetrack. I'm done. No way. I never was going to go anyway, but now there's definitely no way I'm ever getting there. Fuck that. Stay away. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, that is it for DSP versus the Internet for this week. I want to say thank you to everyone who chilled with me here on the stream all day. I want to say thanks to those who are members and who submitted their videos. And, of course, thanks to those who have supported this channel through memberships and gifted memberships over the last many months. I really appreciate that. Next week, same time, same place. We will do it all again and see what you guys nominate. But remember, please, no adults-only videos, no kids videos, and no videos from, like, an established network or broadcast show, because those are all going to get blocked or claimed. All right, guys, thank you so much. Until next week, peace out. Be safe. See you then.